I could see it where it's like, I'm still thinking too small. It was like confirmation that everyone's facing this. When I looked at the mastermind, that super conscious component, even to me, it was like, really? It was pretty real. Like that collective, we're all thinking, moving. The things I used to think were weird or kind of kooky are very real to me now. Very real.
Welcome to the Lion's Edge, where top performers sharpen their teeth. Hosted by Joe Blackburn, founder of The Lion, who is relentlessly dedicated to helping business owners lead multi-million-dollar teams. And me, Jason Croft. I transform unseen entrepreneurs into industry leaders by developing their market gravity. Each week, we reveal proven strategies and raw insights to help you maximize your business, multiply your wealth, and make your family indestructible. Now, let's create your edge. All right, this is a good one. I can feel it.
You can feel it coming?
I can feel it. How was this in person this last week?
It was the best one we've ever done by a lot. The biggest one we've ever done by a lot. And, you know, I preach about not being scared of stuff, and we're actually working heavily on scarcity and mindset and doing a daily challenge and coming out of this. Going into it, I was a little unsure how that many people in the room was going to go over. And I was pleasantly surprised that, you know, very little bitching, even though Gary was there. No, he actually hosted a party. The Hyenas had a mastermind after mine where he hosted out at his compound. And I mean, I actually told the group, if I cared as much about the client experience as he did for everyone going out there, people would like our mastermind better. I mean, he and his wife, Cassie, just like rolled out the red carpet. Everything was prepared. You know, we went out and put our feet in the creek, and that was just special. It just was. I don't know how to describe it. And I don't always take time to enjoy stuff. So it was kind of like first time in a long time to just relax. And that part was awesome. So people stayed around and went to that. The group, the dynamic was amazing. You know, I think it's a product of technology. When people are together, they're connecting faster. I mean, we had people that had never met each other, barely knew each other. Hell, we had someone start on the Friday before, and just the chemistry of everyone being there, being excited, talking about the things that were important to them, what they were proud of. It was amazing. I was floored. And I played it cool, like this is, another Tuesday, but deep down I was like, this is awesome.
That's fantastic.
Really cool. Great time, great results. I couldn't be happier, man. It was like, okay, now we know.
So yeah, so what are some lessons from that in both? I guess give folks an idea of what the biggest one means compared to what they were before and why that number matters. And also we can dig into this idea too. I love, which is technology speeding up the in-person and vice versa, right? Like only one of those isn't as meaningful as both of those together for things. So I think that's great. Talk numbers real quick.
How many people were there, you mean? So we had 28 in the room. So I had 6 tables of 5. And then, of course, I had my own table in the back because I don't want anyone close to me. But so we had about 30 in the room.
And elevated and a little higher than everyone else.
On a platform with a spotlight. No.
Yeah.
But it was, from a number standpoint, I always call it a cattle call when people go to events where there's hundreds of people and those are like a concert. Like that's you're experiencing something and it feels great. It's harder to connect. So as we keep growing, the challenge for me is I don't want people to miss or feel like they've missed the connectivity. And, that's not what happened. It was more connected. Hell, they were posting on social media, tagging each other. I mean, it just had this like synergy of like, okay, I'm not alone now. Like and I always talk about being on the island as a, entrepreneur, business owner. And it was like real that like, okay, this person has the exact same thing that they're facing that I am, and I'm not by myself out here any longer. It just was like, I mean, it's hard to describe the feeling, but you could feel it when you walked in the room. And I know that's because everybody was like, it was like a sense of relief and excitement that, okay, I got people that get me. You're always asking is, do you get me? Can you help me? The do you get me part was answered. And then at the end, it was like, can you help me? And from what I saw, everyone got a ton of help. And it wasn't me preaching. Like, I don't get up and give a big presentation, and certainly would never do any slides, because if you put a slideshow on, I'll leave the room.
Even if it's your slideshow.
Yeah, if it's mine, I'll be like, can someone just click the button? But that's what was cool about it. Yeah, and my biggest takeaway on it was this. Because we had some newer people and even some people that have been around a while, I could see it where it's like, I'm still thinking too small. And what I'm, concerned about, afraid about, whatever you want to cloak that with, isn't that big a deal. It was like confirmation that everyone's facing this. Like, we're all, your problems aren't going to go away. Like, problems don't go away. It's your capacity and your mindset around them. And there's just, when I started this thing, we're coming up on 3 years for the in-persons in Labor Day of 22. So we're a month out or whatever. Probably from today, or I don't know what today it is, Tuesday, Thursday, I don't know. So we're close. We're somewhere in the universe. I think that when I looked at the mastermind, that super conscious component, even to me, it was like, really? This are, I was like, but it was pretty real. Like, that collective, we're all thinking, moving, like it's the things I used to think were weird or kind of kooky are very real to me now. Very real.
Yeah, and I think anybody who's experienced that would agree. And let's try to make that tangible for folks too, of kind of what that is. What does happen in the room? What's the result? Because there are these aspects of everything you described emotionally awesome. And that's, I don't want to underplay that, because that's a huge deal as a business owner who thinks the world's crumbling around around them. But there's also tangible stuff that I know happens, and just in a structure of the thing, when problems are getting solved and new opportunities are happening, what does that look like?
Well, so we do a stand and deliver, and I erred on the side of length on one of them. I felt it was important. It was about profitability, and I wanted everyone to hear where profitability lied in each business. And that did get coming out of it, I made a new rule. We're not going past 2:00. I wanted everyone to hear where the focus on profitability was and where people felt they were profitable and really weren't. So in action, and this is the most important part about having an event, is what happens when you get home. So in there, you're standing, delivering, and going through what are my most profitable activities, my most profitable employees, least profitable products, like my whole suite within the business. And then did you do anything with that? Because it's great. It is an emotional thing to get it out there. But we had our biweekly on the Thursday following, which was last Thursday. And I just had everyone, without previous notice, what did you do? And it was like, and I didn't exactly know what was going to happen. And it was like, I did this, I let this person go, I changed this, I eliminated this product. Like, they took action on that, which in any event, like I say, it's a concert. Like, once the concert's over, you're just looking forward to the next concert. Well, this was different in the fact that now people are taking action. We're holding them accountable. It's the cartilage or the glue that holds this whole thing together. Is when I do something like that, do I then do something with it versus feel it? So the feelings first, and then we got to attack mindset, and now it's the action part. The event was awesome, but the follow-up call I thought was awesome too, because everybody's like, yeah, I did this, this, and this, and it went around the horn. So that was pretty awesome. And the thing that you got to be careful of is, okay, do I skyrocket out of this and then do I plateau? So now we do one-on-ones this week. So not only did you do the event, the immediate action, now it's the hardcore accountability around strategy. Okay, let's take that and make it part of what your routine is. So that's why it works so well. And I think one of the things that, especially when I'm talking to new people, the conception is I just go to a mastermind meeting. Well, those are a dime a dozen, and there's no shortage of good ideas. It's, are you going to do something? So that separates the results that people get faster from just hearing something. I mean, you can hear something and take some action on it. I'm not saying that never happens, just it's rare.
Is there a focus that you kind of go into these things with? Like, because you feel the group, you've been, working with them. Is there something you kind of go into the group or the in-person with of like, I really want to hit this? Like maybe it's that profitability aspect. Is there, what was that this time around?
So instead, we don't cookie cut an entire year and say we're going to do this here and this here and this here. The way that we operate, number one, especially on the in-person, I tend to, as the time between events is happening, I'm always looking at what's the commonality, what's the thing that's coming up with everyone. Where's an area that they're not thinking about is also one of them. And what can we do when we're all together to make that transition? So when I come into one, I generally have 2 to 3 things that, okay, this has come up a lot. A lot of people are working on this, or it's a barrier or limiting belief or whatever it is. And then we attack that and then take the action. So coming into this one, profitability around the business itself was starting to rear. Like I would see people spending time on things that didn't make them any money and be concerned about it and not have a real way of evaluating where the profit was lying in the business. So we attacked that. But even before we got to that, it was recruiting. It was called Win the War on Talent, Stack Cash, and Rewire Your Brain for Wealth was how we described the event. So the biggest thing, especially in the beginning, was, are you recruiting? I think we talked about this in a previous episode, but one thing that came out of that, and we outlawed this word, by the way, was the mindset was, if I go out and get the best talent in my market, I'm poaching, which poaching is an illegal activity that hunters do, going and killing something they're not supposed to. Well, if you're going to be a killer, you got to get other killers. So you're not poaching. You're it was like that shift of like, I'm not taking something from someone. I'm in a free market and I'm going to attract the best talent in my market. And there's a shortage of it. But that was uniform across the board. They all had people they had identified within their own space that maybe it was through a vendor or someone, a business that they weren't recruiting. And that was I'm like, and I came from financial services where I love to recruit, like recruiting. We're always trying to get great people. So it didn't resonate in my mind at first that like, why would you not do that? But it was like, well, I don't want to disrupt this relationship, or I don't want a repercussion. And the other side of that coin is, well, that costs you, your team, your client, and your family if you're not getting the best talent. So you're trying not to piss off somebody that's not even a client at the expense of everyone else that actually matters to you. And they didn't like that. That one was like epiphany time. Like, okay, it's okay for me to get the best people in my market to want to work for me and to build a relationship with them. So that's where we started. And then we did go into profitability, and that actually makes you look differently at your lineup. Well, if I'm not, we talked about Win with the Team You Got 2 weeks ago or whatever it is. Well, if I have the ability to bring in a top tier person and start to cut from the bottom, I'm not as landlocked as I once thought I was in my own business. And that's, again, I see, even when we posted, there was things on there about, we'll just recruit A players. Well, okay, I get it. That would be awesome. And if someone can only recruit A players, please message me, because that's a really good strategy. But in some of these places, there aren't. Hell, we got a guy, Sam Thomas, and I'll say his name out loud because he's my fucking hero. Sam's recruiting someone from 5 states away. So, or four, I don't know. But to get, it's not like they're sitting in his backyard like, hey, I'm rent, so it's that I'm going to go out and get the best at and not worry. I'm going to be careful what I say here. Sometimes we get in the habit of masking selfishness with rationality, meaning, oh, I don't want to disrupt this. I don't want contention, and that's going to hurt that person. That's not true. You don't want to feel bad about doing something that is better for your business, your family, your client. And that's selfish because at the end of the day, that's about you. That's not about it. That's not about concern of others.
Right. It's because it's caught hard and uncomfortable.
Correct. So I'm not saying to, you got to, pick your poison. You may not want to be merciless, but at the same time, it's, in a free market, they're responsible for that. You should expect people to hear enough about you. They want to know you and come work for you. And if you don't pursue that, then that's shame on you. I was like, so we outlawed the word poach. You're not poaching. You're attracting top talent.
I think that's fascinating too. Number one, absolutely language matters. And to even put that in the category of poaching, just because you attract somebody from another company, like when you really break that down, that's as surprising to me as it is to you, right? To think like, oh, that's a negative thing. And yet there is, like you were just getting to, there is a line of that. I mean, if you're walking through another client's or another, a competitor's lunchroom having conversations or something, maybe that's a different thing. But to actively, I mean, just do the things that attract that and let the world, including those folks, know, hey, we're here. Here's why we're amazing. We're always looking. Those are very different things than, at every opportunity undermining or this and that. It's whatever that context is that people had around that. That's fascinating.
I would say you draw the line at a paying client. So if I were paying as a client and you actively recruited my employees, yeah, that's probably, not ethical.
Right.
So, where that came from, by the way, I was talking to a potential and they were in a mastermind for I won't say who it is, but a big name, and their team was in it, and they took their CFO, who was in the calls every week, actively.
What?
Yeah. Yes. And they were paying $60,000 a year to be in it. And
Wow.
They went outside of the meeting and contacted this person and said, we want you to come work for us. So that's probably unethical. It's just,
right.
if it's someone in the community or in your network or whatever it is that you feel would be better for, working with you, and it's not a paying client's person, I would say you can have a conversation, develop a relationship. You should be actively recruiting all the time. And that's business. The really good business people will understand, like they should probably expect their great people are being recruited. That would be a start. Like my best people are probably having conversations or being approached. So it makes them do a better job. They may learn. So again, it wasn't like 911 emergency, but it was like, well, you mean I should be recruiting those? Yes, you should. That's your job. If you're the lead marketeer of your business, that's internal, external. You should be keeping your best talent, also going out and getting the best talent. That's good for everyone, especially the person you're recruiting. If you believe that what you're doing is the best, then they should want to be there.
Yeah, and just like marketing, you don't do it when, oh wait, we don't have any more clients. Oh, we don't have any more employees. I guess we better start this marketing thing.
Yeah. So, and I know we've been down that road, but that one a little, and it probably shouldn't have surprised me. Again, in the size of businesses that we work with, a lot of these people were just the best at what they did and now build a business. So they don't have that muscle memory or thought platform of like, oh yeah, I should. So it just caught me a little off guard, and it was not so much that they weren't doing it, it was the identity of it. I'm a poacher now. Now I'm doing something bad. We're not doing something bad.
Yeah, because you're not going to actively do that if that's the category you have it in. It's a values violation or something like that. Yeah, you're not. Of course, you're not.
Well, and so we spent some time there, really honed into profitability, and it was a little rushed. We went into what was called rewiring your brain for wealth. And I'm a firm believer, and we had talked about this when I took 2 months off of doing this, that if you're not winning the war in your mind every day and programming your own brain and doing the things that send the right signal, you're either, I think I posted this morning in school, like you're the tuned into prosperity or you're broadcasting scarcity. It's not one, you're not in between. You're not a nothing. You have, your thoughts are magnetizing, you're sending out like you're doing one or the other. So we're working hard now on just the habit of doing that when you wake up. I mean, everybody and their dog has put morning routines out there. I'm not like, this is not revolutionary. The one that I think gets skipped is that first few moments of there's nothing in my mind other than how I see myself, visualizing where I am and where I'm going as if. And if you skip, it's like 5 minutes. If you skip that, and look, I'm close to perfect, but not totally. If you raise your hand, if you skip something like that and just go into your day, that freaking record plays, all the fears come out. I've never been so convinced, and it's not just from the event, just in the world in general. We are deeply hypnotized, deeply. And I am, like I say, I go to war in my own mind. I'm also at war with the complacency and scarcity within the people I care about. And they're probably like, they might get a little irritated because I'm putting the throttle down and it just started, but I'm not going to let up here. It's too important. It's too important to win this war. And
Yeah.
we're going to go. I mean, the Lion will be known for that rewired my brain in the right way for my family and for my business and for my team. I mean,
And it didn't let me let go of that.
correct.
It's a big deal because the other side, the distraction machine, isn't letting up. It's only going full throttle. So we have to be just as diligent in that.
I don't know where I read this, but so the top talent in technology, and I mean, really, it used to be coding, but now it's it's attention or whatever. I don't think it's positive attention. I don't, they want to keep, if you look at what's going on, it's all negative. And even if it's entertainment, it changes the way you feel and vibrate, like your frequency or whatever. I got a nasty habit of watching stupid fights on, it's on Facebook, on shorts. You're like, see someone like idiots. And I've like, you start to feel like you're in that irritating situation. I know this isn't bullshit. Like if you feed that stuff to your mind, even though it's entertaining, it still has an effect. So
Oh, yeah.
we're going, so where we're heading, I felt like we had to get in this meeting, we had to get a real foundation on that war on talent, getting more acute on the profitability and what is actually profitable, not just what's easy. And then the mindset, because where I feel this is headed, especially for our people, and it's, again, I come out of financial services, so I pay attention there, is the tsunami of businesses that are going to change hands. Everybody wants to advise on selling their business, and that's cool. I mean, if you have a bunch of boomer clients, yeah, you should. But I'm looking at the Lion, I'm like 30 to 50. I mean, there's a couple that are over 50 that shall not remain nameless. We had one turn 50 this week. Happy birthday, Dom. So, I mean, I would, if I'm looking at the next decade, some of those businesses will be handed over, Most of them are not going to involve an investment bank. I want to be on the buy side. Like this, you don't always get the opportunity in markets. So if I can get myself dialed in and my own business, what can I add on? Not being a private equity manager and buying 10 different businesses. When we teach simple wealth, it's about the gusher. How can I add to my gusher with this opportunity? Because the tail end of the boomer, they're the ones that didn't exit early are now in a position to where they're going to have to start making tough decisions because of health and age. There's a local business we're looking at here, and it's a very profitable one, and there's a family member involved. And they're like, just buy the equipment and a little bit of cash, and I'll walk away from this because I'm done. I think that's going to be more common. So if I'm, Gen X, late stage millennial, that's huge. And you're seeing that, especially in financial services, you're seeing people absorb books of business without having to go through the rite of passage of acquisition, which is mind-boggling too. And then it's a different problem set. How do I run a business this big going from here to here? But that's where we're heading. But if this thing isn't dialed in, you're going to miss it. That's my thought. So where we are heading is, okay, how do I take advantage of this opportunity for me and my family and my team and everyone else? Because it's huge. And most people don't have a lot of muscle memory in that.
Well, yeah, and especially when that's something that's outside of your day to day. Like that's a big step outside.
Yeah.
You're never gonna just when I have a week to just sit and think about this, right? That's never gonna happen. So it's important to have those kind of things brought up. And again, just like the talent thing. Now, you're like you talk about your Wi-Fi's on, right? Like for those kind of things, and that you hear those conversations now.
That's really hard to do without a good team. Again, maybe I'll just keep some anonymity here. We have some people that have bought businesses, and it's more than you think. Like it sounds good on the internet. I'm gonna buy a business. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this. And there's an exchange of time and talent in any of those, unless it's, you're an investor, which that's so think of it this way. If I have excess capital from a gusher, that's my, my conscious or unconscious competence, I can do it without thinking, then I can be an investor. So if I'm going to do it, why would I go somewhere I have no competence? I just want to look for that. The opportunity set is across. So why wouldn't I look for that? So, but I can't just go to that because I haven't put the foundation in place. So what I'm working on is get your gusher and your team dialed in. Make sure your existing business is super profitable, and get your mindset right. Because I didn't coin this. I like it, and I am silver-ish. That silver tsunami is legit. So in your space, you should be the one that's gathering it all in, and it takes those three things first. That's why I did it this time versus just going into it. But it's something like 10 trillion by 2030 will change hands. And that, again, it's not Goldman Sachs investment banks or big M&A. It's the businesses in your community right in your backyard. So that's leverage too. Like everybody wants to, have you ever heard anyone talk about scaling?
Your favorite word.
Well, yeah. I think it's misperceived. I just think there's my perspective on it is this. And we've seen this in real time recently with people doing this. It's not what you think it is. And you're always going to be paid for your time. So yeah, is it ideal to have a business that you're removed from? Yeah, if you're going to sell it. No shit. Because that person buying it doesn't want you there. Yes, that's a stage of it. The last part. I think people try to do it like here, and then it's a cluster bomb. Did you like I didn't say the word I wanted to say? That was awesome. So it's not right or wrong. It's just sequentially. However, if you don't have the foundation, you're going to get turned upside down in a heartbeat. And that's where people, going back to the hypnotize, this is easy. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Because you know what's involved in all these things? people. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down a notch. So however, I'm fired up because we're gonna put something in place for them so that it's easier and faster and less mistakes and more power and more like, okay, opportunity of a lifetime in my mind for everyone. For everyone. If that's who you are, if you are someone that owns a business, this is your opportunity like there never has been. Because if you did it 10 years ago on the front end of the boomers, the prices were much higher, the pain was far less, the whys were like all that. So that front end of the cycle is going to be priced completely. This is the like, I am done with this shit here. Can you not blow this up because I care about these people, the employees and the clients, and I want to figure this out. There's the difference.
Yeah.
And from what I'm seeing now, maybe I'm going to get proven wrong and not all of them are going to be layups, whatever. I just think the market's changed.
Yeah. Take advantage of that. And I think there's a play in there too with a lot of those businesses are, at least for now, AI proof as well. The trucking logistics company, not even the logistics company, but the truck mechanic.
Yeah.
Right. Like those companies who are working on semis that break down on the side of the road. Like that's a massive need still that isn't turned upside down because of AI or going away because of it.
It's funny you said that, Jason. I'll call him a kid and I don't want to insult him because he is a killer. He's 23, 24 years old and he does mechanic, wreckers, and he's getting the ability to move, bigger equipment. That dude's crushing it at an age that would boggle your mind if you knew the revenue and income he was making. So I don't think it's novel to say, oh, industries now, I think everybody's thinking that. Like, I'm going to do something that is skill-based, so to hide from AI, okay, use AI. Like, use it. I mean,
exactly.
My
biggest...
you
bring that into those companies.
Yeah. So the bigger question is, where does your greatness lie? Like, is it in being able to do that and help other people learn how to do that? Is it in giving advice? Is it in, we got somebody that does asbestos removal? I mean, that's pretty highly specialized. Like, I'm not going to do it. I don't even want to be, if I hear that word, I don't even want to be near it. So I just think where I see it going for us is, okay, we know that opportunity's there. So how do I actually get from, I know the opportunity's there to bringing it in? And, I think the original question is how do you know what to do? Well, I knew we had to do this part first. And now we're going to get that, I call it hammered into your nervous system through accountability and reps and coaching and all the things we do. Then I have the baseline to go out and add more on faster, better, less mistakes, less. That's when I look at where we're going. That's what I would see, especially over the next 5 years. Like that's a critical mass moment because that 70-year-old is going to be 75 and they may just close the doors. I have a really good client in the Boot Hill, Missouri, that we were spending some time trying to figure out how to get a competitor or build bigger. And that dude called and said, we're closing down. So now he just gets it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just closing the doors. I'm done. So huge opportunity. We got everything that I believe you need to be in place. And, we do this thing called pillars. What I also find is those opportunities generally aren't into the public's eye yet. That could be real estate but so the better I am at pillars within my market and get known and build word of mouth that we can do this, the faster that will come to me as well. So I feel like we're in a great spot. You can read the doom and gloom online all you want. That's not what I'm seeing. I think opportunity is unlimited, and the people that get this between the ears right fastest and first and rep it, I proved it. You take time off and it's a daily war. Is it a daily war? I just thought, well, maybe it's I can do it for a period of time and I'm great. Hardwired. unless I'm just an idiot. It's possible. Anyway, all right, I'm done diatribing. That's where I see us heading, and I'm fired up for it. And
it's great to see that come to, I don't know, your group, and to feel the results of it so quickly, because that's just an extra, like you can see these things and feel these things going, but then when it lands, it resonates and they take action on it. Okay, there's a validation there of it isn't just me. Hey, there's something here. All right, Lions, there's your edge. You've just experienced the Lion's Edge. If this episode lit a fire, if you're ready to push past your current ceiling, there's more waiting for you. Want to see what it takes to become a member of the Lion? Visit jointhelion.com to discover how successful entrepreneurs become unstoppable forces. And make sure you never miss an episode by hitting subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This isn't just content. This is your edge.
This show is powered by Media Leads. Tired of being overlooked in your industry? Learn how market gravity can transform you into the leader everyone's talking about by going to MediaLeadsCo.com.